Welcome. My name's Ian Dinwiddie from Inspiring Dads, and the purpose of today is to shoot a little video talking about the parental leave database, giving you a little bit of an idea about how you might be able to use it. Hopefully encourage you to sign up for the waitlist. Waitlist is open at the moment, and we will be providing early access to the data from the 2nd of September. So anyone watching this video is also going to see below, down on the screen here, hopefully if everything's going smoothly, that we've already got quite a bit of the data. Certainly the top, well, we've got 11 here on screen, 11 companies and their data. But I want to use this as kind of a live demo of the sort of functionality that you can expect and why I think it's a really powerful tool for benchmarking, both for businesses, but also for individuals as well. So without further ado, we're going to kind of look at some of these aspects. So the first thing we can do in here is search for an organization. So you see in the top right-hand corner here, I'm going to hover. There's a little magnifying glass, find in view, click on that. And if we type in ABB, it'll give us a number of options. So I type in AB, it's given me 57 cells. So it's giving me the first four over here are all showing up as ABB. Complete that to ABB, then we've got a business here, which we've allocated as manufacturing industrial in terms of our benchmarking. So you can see you can do a little search here. If we were to do, for instance, Admiral Group, typing in Admiral AD, you can see I've got 4 highlighted at the bottom left-hand corner, and we'll complete that with Admiral Group. And then we can click on that and we can see that information, it highlights that information. That's the first thing you can do. We can search for individual companies. We can see if they're in the database. We can see if they're offering fully paid leave, whether that's maternity, paternity, or shared parental leave. Okay, so we can also sort by maternity, paternity, and shared parental leave offer. So we've got a little sort button here. I'm just going to hover that over. Hopefully you can see that nice and clearly. I can do sort, and I can set up what I want to do. So if I want to sort by maternity, choose the maternity, I can choose A to Z. I can choose Z to A. So you can see here at the top, we've got Netflix Unlimited for the first year. We've got an undisclosed one, which kind of comes up. That may need to be a 0 probably in here. And we can see maternity provision. You can see a number of organizations who are offering 52 weeks of fully paid maternity leave. So we can do that with maternity. We can go back. We can sort by several different things, but we can sort here by paternity. We can get rid of, so you can see here, we can double sort. We can do paternity, then maternity. If we just wanted to look at paternity, we press sort, and there we go. Again, Netflix starting at the top, unlimited for a year. We can see Sony Music, which is very similar type of policy. And then we've got Aberdeen, Standard Life Aberdeen. That's 40 weeks at the moment for maternity and paternity. And also there's a note there. That will actually be reduced to 26 weeks from a period of time from the second, here we go. Functionality here in terms of the notes, we reduced from 26 to 26 weeks from October 24. So still groundbreaking in terms of where they sit overall, but also slightly lower than they had done previously. We can also see down on this left-hand side next to the organizational column that we've got a filter which is equal. So all of these organizations that were showing up in paternity leave are also equal leave. So we've got Bain & Co 29 weeks plus maternity, 29 weeks plus maternity. And we can get on to a little bit about what plus and minus means in a minute. But within this equal filter, we can filter maternity, we can filter paternity, we can group by equal as well. And shared parental leave, we can do the same thing. So we can go and sort that. We clear out the paternity, sort by shared parental leave. And you can see here the most generous shared parental leave in the UK in this database, and we've got 252 records at the moment showing up, is Accenture, who offer 30 weeks of shared parental leave. So they very much use a policy of enhancing their shared parental leave in comparison to a lot of organizations, the majority of organizations who are enhancing via paternity leave. So actually Accenture is a little bit of a weird one. They've got 36 weeks of maternity leave, which is really high, 30 weeks of shared parental leave, which is also really high, a couple of weeks of paternity leave. So they're expecting their men to take shared parental leave instead of paternity. And there are some pros and cons in terms of that approach, certainly more cons, I would say, than pros. I'd much rather see organizations for very practical purposes and reasons around uptake, much more organisations enhancing their paternity leave instead of doing shared parental leave. There's reasons behind that which we'll explore at a later date. But Accenture actually they're not equal provider of leave. So you can see here 36 and 30, so they're not an equal provider. The ones underneath that, starting with AstraZeneca, then they are. So there's 29 and 29, and they're equal via shared parental leave. So they're not equal leave regardless of how you become a parent. There are mechanisms, and there are to a certain degree a sense of sort of hurdles to go past, which make that not quite as appealing as the ones we saw previously on the previous screen, which is about in terms of equal leave as well. Okay, so next one I wanted to show you was comparing by industry sector. So we can group. We can see here we've got a column. We've got industry sectors here. We've got lots of different things that we can do. We've tried to group them into ones that make sense. Benchmarking in terms of industry sector can be quite challenging. We've also looked at how businesses portray themselves on LinkedIn. So that's one way of doing it. But we've tried to make companies that are as similar in terms of their workforce and what they do as possible. There will almost certainly be things you think are wrong, and we've got an opportunity. We've got a form that you can fill in if you want to contribute to that. What we can do is we can group. So we'll go to this group element here. Hopefully you can see that just above maternity. If I click on group and I choose industry, I can choose to collapse or expand all. So if I choose collapse all, what I get is industries down the left-hand side and a series of companies. How many companies that sit within this? So for instance, if I look at biotech and farm, I can click on the arrow. He says, click on the three dots, span the group. Okay, so then you can see there we've got 7 companies which are tagged as biotech and farm, and you can compare between them. So you can see AstraZeneca is equal via shared parental leave. The majority of them are equal. Abcam are not, they're 18 and 6, but you can also see industry size there, and you can see they've all been selected by biotech or farm. So that's one of the things we can do. We can group by a particular field. We can also group by employee size. So I've gone to group again, gone to industry. I'm going to scroll down to UK size. I think it's really important that we recognise that there are businesses with very good PR machines that don't actually employ many people in the UK, and I think it's important to recognise the impact on individuals and how many people are actually being employed in the UK, because we do have global policies, but we also often have countries that have very much more limited policies based on local geography, and this is a way of seeking to do that. So we've grouped them by field. You can see on here we've got 105 businesses in the category of 1,000 to 5,000 UK employees, 19 in the 500 to 1,000, etc. And then we can also see, if I scroll up on this right-hand side, we'll come up to the top. So in terms of the largest ones, we've got 51 companies within this database that we've identified as having 10,000 or more UK employees. And then within that, we can click on that, we can expand our group, and we can see exactly who they are. And then within that group, what we could do is then sort. We've grouped it. We could sort by maternity and then paternity. And we've got that there. So we've got maternity first, then paternity. And we can sort and see which of our largest companies have got the most generous paternity leave. We flip this around. I'm going to drag this up. So we're going to go paternity, maternity first, hit sort. And you can see in terms of the largest companies in the UK, we've got the top 2, the ones we've got 10,000 or more employees. Then we've got Novartis, a biotech and farm company, and then we've got NatWest PLC, where we've got 26 weeks of equal pay as well. So those are the best 2 businesses in the size of 10,000 or more plus. So we can look at it in that way as well. One of the things I wanted to show you was comparing by industry sector and by UK employee size. So we're going to group by, first we're going to group by industry size. Then we're going to add a subgroup in, and we're going to group by UK size. And then we're going to collapse all. And this hopefully will show you something more interesting here. So let's go and have a look at one of the big ones. So let's go down to financial services and insurance. So it's been a bit glitchy. Okay, so we're going to expand the group. And can we see here within financial services and insurance, I've got 51 companies, 7 of which are in the larger size, the 10,000 plus, and then we've got groupings after that. So financial services, that one, we can pull out companies with 5 to 10,000 in financial services, and we can see what their offers are. And we can see there's an error there. That says no, WISE. Not sure what WISE exactly do, some sort of banking organization. They're actually showing up as no. Actually, there should be a yes. So it's a good job I'm doing this exercise. So you can see we've got lots of 5,000 to 10,000 employee financial services companies with equal parental leave. Some of them, such as Legal and General, don't really know on the maternity leave offer here. And then we go down, we've got obviously here UBS equal by shared parental leave. You can see if you're interested in comparing by both, depending on the data set, and some industries are overrepresented. Comparison legal, we've got a lot of legal data in here. Then you can compare the offer by size as well as by industry sector. We've also got an eligibility field here, so we can see here the eligibility. So we could group by eligibility and do that. And so we can see in here, go and have a look. And this is a little bit trickier to find sometimes. We've got 30 businesses, 30 organizations who we know from our research have day one eligibility. You can see there. So scroll down. Those are the 30 that we have in our 252 records, day one eligibility. Okay, so that's something that could be quite really useful, especially for an employee. And if you're looking for benchmarking, seeing what the rest of the industry are up to, what your competitors might be up to, then there's data in here as well. So scrolling on past eligibility, we've got some notes, we've got some pay notes. I think we'll probably amalgamate those two bits of data, because actually all of this represents fully paid leave. So where I say, where we're talking about 3I here, it's 18 weeks of fully paid maternity leave, or 2 weeks of fully paid, maternity leave and 2 weeks of fully paid paternity leave. They're all like that. We can see, if we look into the notes, we can expand these notes, and we can find out that for 3I, that's the basic salary. Some organizations include bonus structures within this as well, but as much data as we've got go in here. So ABB, they talk about gender neutral leave in terms of primary caring responsibilities in particular. So we can expand, you can see the sort of notes, primary and secondary carers, how they look at things. And then the bit which I think is really, really important is we've got source data. So we validated a lot of this information so you don't need to. So when you come across here, you can see some of them are employeebenefits.co.uk, a really, really good source of this kind of information. But also we've got the direct links into the business. So here we can see with Addershall Goddard, maternity, paternity, 2 to 20 for shared parental leave. So you can see the size, industry, all the leavers at full pay. And interesting enough, there's a little information here. It's not called paternity leave, it's called co-parent leave. So there's some of these bits, these nuances within individual organizations that we've captured. And you can see here, we've got a link. Can expand that out. There's a link in here. Some organizations, some of these businesses, we've got more than one link. So you can see where you're going. So what we've got here is we've got searchable database. We've got, hopefully what you'll find is a really user-friendly way of doing things, taking this data, validating it, looking to create a benchmarking database that allows you to benchmark by both the type of leave, the length of leave, and also the industry and UK size, and feel confident that it's legitimate, and you can cross-reference that against other sources, whether that's news sources or the websites, the individual websites of the organization organisations where hopefully in some cases we've drilled directly into the policy documents where possible. But I hope you found that a useful sort of dive into what kind of functionality is coming your way, and I look forward to seeing you sign up for early access to the entire database. In the meantime, any feedback, any thoughts about how to improve this and from what you've seen today, then please do let me know. Okay, thank you everyone. Bye-bye.